Major world events of the past and the very present are concealed in an ancient occult language of mathematics, that which is not spoken and can only be comprehended after analyzing its trail of footprints throughout known history. Welcome back, everyone. I'm D26, and today I'm going to decode the events of September 11th, 2001, referred as the deadliest terrorist attack on American soil. Before I begin, I recommend you to watch my previous videos to have a basic understanding as you learn this ancient knowledge that comes from Kabbalah. The various number systems and different ciphers play an important role, especially for such vast topic. However, this is a shorter version of a larger video that I'm still working on, and it will be released as soon as possible. It is interesting that the only 3 high-rise buildings that collapsed due to jet fuel and excessive fire were on the same day at the same location. The 3 World Trade Center buildings that fell on September 11th, 2001 in New York City. And just in case you didn't know if there was a 3rd building that collapsed, then maybe it's time to accept that you have been fooled by the mainstream media.
They're thinking about bringing the building down. They didn't say what building, they just said bringing a building down. The last few seconds he took his hand off and you heard 3, 2, 1. And then it was like another 2, 3 seconds you heard explosions. Like, boom!
You want to call your mother or something? Alright? Don't worry about me.
This was boom! And like you felt a rumble in the ground, like almost like you wanted to grab onto something.
This is what a flock of birds can do to the front of a plane. Yet on 9/11, there was no rebound impact. Instead, there was a loud boom after the plane crashed into the tower like a detonation. And also when the towers were falling, one can hear the series of blasts like a controlled demolition.
This was clearly, the way the structure is collapsing, this was the result of something that was planned. It's not accidental that the first tower just happened to collapse and then the second tower just happened to collapse in exactly the same way. How they accomplished this, we don't know.
Do you know if it was an explosion or if it was a building collapse?
To me, it sounded like an explosion.
To learn the truth about any event, one must look at the past and try to connect the dots with the event itself and what followed after. Who controls the past controls the future. Who controls the future controls the present. We go back to 1968, the year when the National Emergency Dialing Code 911 was established. In fact, the very first call was made on February 16th, 1968, the 47th day of the year. 1968 was also the year World Trade Center construction began in New York on the 74th Meridian West. Both of these numbers are important to the mystery schools. I will dedicate a short video about these numbers. 1968 was also the year George W. Bush, the president at the time of 9/11, graduated from Yale University, and he was a member of the Skull and Bones, also known as the Brotherhood of Death, a fraternity modeled after the Knights Templar, whose cross is embedded in the Jesuit logo behind IHS. The order operates out of Yale University in Connecticut, United States, which equates to 337, the 68th prime. Bush graduated with a class of 911 graduates. However, the Yale University's website seems to have changed the number not too long ago. September 11th is the 68th day of Bush's age. Born on the 187th day of the year, July 6th, like 7-6, Society of Jesus equates to 187, whereas Skull and Bones equates to 76. And recently the Georgia Guidestones were destroyed by a bomb equating to 76 on George W. Bush's 76th birthday on 7/6 and skull and bones equates to 76, a topic I will cover in a future video. And let us not forget his father's speech, the 41st President, George H.W. Bush, on September 11, 1990, 11 years to the day, about a new world order and it being free of terror. Of course, the word terror sums to 68.
A new partnership of nations has begun, and we stand today at a unique and extraordinary moment. The crisis in the Persian Gulf, as grave as it is, also offers a rare opportunity to move toward an historic period of cooperation. Out of these troubled times, our fifth objective, a new world order, can emerge, a new era, freer from the threat of terror, stronger in the pursuit of justice, and more secure in the quest for peace. An era in which the nations of the world, East and West, North and South, can prosper and live in harmony. 100 generations have searched for this elusive path to peace, while 1,000 wars raged across the span of human endeavor. And today that new world is struggling to be born. A world quite different from the one we've known, a world where the rule of law supplants the rule of the jungle, a world in which nations recognize the shared responsibility for freedom and justice.
1968 was also the year Muhammad Atta was born. On 1st of September, like 1/9, the ringleader of the 19 hijackers on 9/11/2001, 19 years before C-19. Muhammad Atta was also the oldest of the group, having turned 33 on September 1st, 2001, a standout age for self-sacrifice. The Club of Rome was also established in 1968. It is to be noted that 1968 is the year believed to be the first documented HIV case, that of a teenager from Missouri named Robert Rayford, who was admitted to the city hospital, equating to 68. It also equates 1002 in reverse English Sumerian reflection of 2001. The airplane company Boeing from Seattle was a big part of 9/11, and the firm that built the World Trade Centers, Magnuson Klemenkic Associates, is also from Seattle, and Seattle, Washington equates to 68. The founder of the company, William Boeing, also equates to 68. Whereas his full name, William Edward Boeing, equates to 96 and 111, like how the worst elevated railway accident in US history was between the 6th and the 9th Avenue in New York City on September 11th, 1905, the day leaving 111 days left in the year, exactly 96 years before September 11th, 2001. Bin Laden was reportedly killed in Abbottabad, Pakistan during the Obama administration. Abbottabad sums to 68, so does Barack Obama, and he was killed on a day with reduced date energy of 11 and 9 on May 2nd, 2011. Emery Roth and Sons equates to 68, the firm that designed the World Trade Center Building 7 that also collapsed on the same day. A lesser known fact that I will discuss in my full video. In Art of War, the military treatise written by the Chinese war general Sun Tzu, chapter 11th is named The Nine Situations and comprises of 68 paragraphs, the longest in the text. The Twin Towers' exterior frame was made up of a series of elongated tridents, which can be noticed only when seeing the towers from the ground. Do read this article from September 4th, 2007 about the trident true symbol at the World Trade Centers. In Greek mythology, Poseidon is the god of the sea and holds a trident. Poseidon sums to 43 and 119. George W. Bush was the 43rd president at the time of 9/11. It is not a coincidence that the World Trade Centers fell to the ground 44 days after Tisha B'Av, also known as the 9th of Av, which equates to 44. Tisha B'Av is the Jewish day to remember the destruction of the two temples, that of Solomon and Herod. Similar to the two towers or twin towers, that were bombed in 1993, which were blamed on the Blind Sheikh, a nickname summing to 93. Operation Amalgam Virgo was a simulation of cruise missiles attacking the United States. The operation was simulated on 1st and 2nd of June 2001, which was 102 days before September 11th, the day when the attacks lasted for 102 minutes. There is even a documentary highlighting the number 102. Amalgam Virgo sums to 119 and 56, just like All-Seeing Eye and Society of Jesus. And most of the world writes the date September 11th as 11/9. And keep in mind, this was just few months before 9/11, and the face on the cover of the simulation document was that of Bin Laden himself. Operation Amalgam Virgo also equals 219. And 9/11 happened in the time of Virgo. And in the Jewish cipher, Virgo equates to 846, like the first plane hitting the North Tower at 8:46 a.m. local time. Another simulation leading up to and eventually foreshadowing the events of September 11, 2001 was Pentagon Massacre. I will dive in this topic in detail in my full video. As for the 102 list, don't forget the Jesuits, who operate out of Vatican Hill, translated the military text Art of War, which equates to 102, just like World War. The firm that built the World Trade Centers, Magnus and Clemenkick Associates, also equates to 102. September 11th is the New Year's Day on the Christian Coptic calendar. Notice how New Year equates to 35, so does Catholic, as well as Virgo. And Christmas is celebrated on December 25th, like 1225, the 35th square. 35 is 43 in base 8 counting. And 9/11 happened during the time of the 43rd president. Coming to the Yale fraternity, Skull and Bones equates to 41, like Maskell, tying in with how George H.W. Bush, being the 41st president, and September 11, 2001 had a date numerology of 41. Even further, the attack was blamed on Al-Qaeda, equating to 41, just like Saudi Arabia also equates to 41, where the majority of the hijackers were said to be from. George W. Bush, being the 43rd president, he and his father attended Yale University. This matters because Yale sums to 43, and you might recall how George W. Bush was announced the 43rd president-elect after Florida called the election in his favor. This was funny at the time because his brother Jeb was the current and the 43rd governor of Florida, and not by chance Florida sums to 43, same as Masonic. And on the Masonic tip, the letters of the capital city of DC are 4 and 3. And don't forget that before George H.W. Bush was the 41st president, he was the 43rd vice president, and prior to that, he was the 11th director of the CIA, equating to 68, whose logo states Central Intelligence Agency, United States of America, equating to 201, just like Order of Illuminati, whose founder Adam Weishaupt died on November 18, 1830, 201 days after the establishment date, and leaving 43 days left in the year. Not to mention, November 18th is also the 322nd day of the year, and the secret society of Skull and Bones is known and recognized by the number 322. In numerology, repeating numbers are seen as an amplification of energy. Let's start with the fact that on 11 September 2001, Flight 77 hits the 77-foot-tall Pentagon located on the 77th Meridian West at 9:37, exactly 77 minutes since its takeoff at 8:20 as per the 9/11 Commission report. In Gematria, words like World Trade Center, United States, September 11th, Order from Chaos, the Manhattan Project, all equates to 77. The flight crashed into the Pentagon exactly at 9:37:46 local time, and when it is spelled out 9:37:46, it equates to 343, the cube of 7. Order out of chaos equates to 777. Also, American Airlines Flight 11 had hit one of the twin towers that looked like a big 11 in the 11th state on the 11th day of the month. 11 is the fifth prime, which itself is the third prime. This ties in with the third attack being on the Pentagon, a five-sided polygonal building with 5 floors, 5 consecutive buildings in the shape of a pentagon, with a pentagonal courtyard in the center of an area of 555 square foot. This is not far from the Washington Memorial, which is 555 feet tall. It is no coincidence that the logo on the back of the Great Seal of the United States is associated to many mystery schools, being a pyramid with 5 sides and 5 vertices.
It's incredible. When I saw it, I actually felt tingling down my spine. It's actually quite horrendous because it looks so much like, I mean, you didn't even have to tell me. It just looks so much like the horrible event that happened at the World Trade Center. Even the fact that where the smoke's coming out of, you know, both the towers, it's just in the exact place. And it's blatant. It's blatantly, basically showing you that this was planned.
Stay safe and see you in the next video.